Heavy rains covered the central regions of Paraguay, causing localized floods in several departments. Among those affected by the floods are the capital Asuncion, and the city of Luque, which is located in the central department. According to local media, a total of 85 millimeters of rain fell in 5 hours, and at the same time, the rains continue. The average height of the flooded areas was 50 centimeters, and the maximum height was almost 1.5 meters. 2 people were injured. Their car was swept away by a strong stream of water. They received moderate injuries. Regular rainfall during this month has led to the fact that the level of the Paraguay River in the region of the capital Asuncion has risen by almost 2 meters in a week. A giant squid about 3 meters long has been found on the beach, which local authorities say is a rare occurrence. At 10 a.m., a resident of a nearby area spotted a squid on Ugu Beach in Obama, Fukui Prefecture, on the coast of the Sea of Japan. According to the Obama municipality, the squid was still alive when it was discovered. It is unusual for a giant squid to wash ashore alive, officials say. Usually such giants are thrown out already dead. The deep-sea creature will be taken to the aquarium in the prefectural city of Sakai. In the Dominican Republic, a major wildfire has broken out. The main fires were formed in the northern province of Puerto Plata. The first reports of this fire appeared on Tuesday, and up to this point, firefighters have not been able to localize this fire. Not only that, according to the latest information, this fire is approaching the reserve and threatening protected forests. All the forces at the disposal of the authorities in this region are thrown into extinguishing. The territory covered by fire exceeds 20 hectares. The fire is growing rapidly. 2 helicopters arrived to help firefighters and volunteers, which help in extinguishing the fire. The cause of such a large-scale fire is not yet known exactly. The sun has fired 19 solar flares in the last 24 hours, including 5 meters class flares and the powerful X2.2 flare on AR 2992, which you can see in this animation. This is the most powerful outbreak in the last 5 years. Flare intensity is measured in classes A, B, C, M and X, where X is the strongest of all. The most powerful flare was recorded far back in 2003. Its class exceeded X28. The source of the flare was Sunspot 2992, which was located on the western limb of the Sun, and the subsequent coronal mass ejection was not directed to the Earth, which is very good. Because earlier in this SpaceX already lost over 40 Starlink satellites due to a solar flare when they barely reached orbit. Heavy rains have passed in Uzbekistan, which caused floods. Due to the violence of the elements, 2 people died. According to local media, 10% of the annual rainfall fell in the Jizik region of Uzbekistan. They caused floods and mudflows. Floods occurred in 5 districts of the region. Settlements, social facilities, as well as crops of local residents were affected. The flood in the village of Agizbulik, Forish district, damaged the buildings of the school and kindergarten. Some houses were flooded. Employees of the Department of Emergency Situations and its regional branches immediately arrived at the scene of the incident, and took measures to eliminate the consequences of the rain. 230 secondary school students were evacuated. Heavy rain and hail hit the capital of Venezuela. The streets of the city of Caracas were flooded with floods. Traffic was disrupted. At least 800 families had to be evacuated from areas most affected by this flood. The flood also affected areas adjacent to the capital. Car drivers were caught in the flood and found themselves in a difficult situation. The disaster caused the most serious damage to the Macarao region, located near the border of the Caracas metropolitan area with the state of Miranda. According to representatives of the Civil Protection Service, several streams overflowed their banks, carrying mud and tree debris into settlements. Venezuela has been overwhelmed by heavy rainfall for more than a week and weather forecasters are not encouraging yet. In the Vargashinsky district of the Kurgan region, a partial fish kill occurred on Lake Maloy Pezyonoy. Residents are posting video footage of the horrific event on social media. According to local media, such phenomena are recorded annually and are of a partial nature. The lakes are shallow. The thickness of the ice today was from a meter or more, that is, there was almost no residential area. Some lakes froze to the bottom. Thus, there are no conditions for the existence of such a quantity of fish in the reservoir. The last 10 years there has been low water, and this situation is getting worse every year. Against this background, nature regulates itself. This year, a partial kill of CRUCIAN carp is observed in the lake. In Italy there was an invasion of jellyfish. A rather large flock of jellyfish invades the port of Trieste. Thousands of jellyfish that have occupied the coastal waters have attracted the attention of both scientists and local residents. According to experts, this is a group of jellyfish of the Rhizotoma pulma species, one of the largest living in the Mediterranean Sea. A biologist from Trieste explained that they are probably close to the surface. In spring the water warms up the most. There is more light and therefore more plankton, which attracts jellyfish. Despite the impression made by such a cluster of jellyfish, their bite does not cause serious consequences, only some annoyance. Usually the size of these jellyfish does not exceed 60 centimeters. This species can reach up to 1 meter. For several days of heavy rainfall in Ecuador, the Chantorco River overflowed its banks and flooded several areas. The precipitation also provoked mudflows, which literally demolished several houses. The authorities noted that Ecuador was hit by the strongest downpours in the past 20 years in the area. The Santa Isabel Azue area suffered the most. As weather forecasters later reported, the precipitation that fell on the Santa Isabel Azue neighborhood was 40 times higher than the forecast. The downpours triggered flooding, and firefighters and city utilities were dispatched to deal with the consequences. According to local media, 10 people are missing. To search for the missing, the authorities also plan to involve the army. As expected yesterday, Sicily was hit by the strong Sirocco storm, with gusts of up to 100 km per hour in the northern part of the island, in places even higher along the ridges of mountainous areas such as Nebrodi. The wind caused a lot of inconvenience and damage from Trapani to Messina. There were fallen trees and ripped roofs from houses. Some of them fell down and damaged parked cars. Firefighters and city brigades are busy restoring the infrastructure, as well as clearing debris on the roads. Forecasters predict strong winds until the end of the day. Thank you for watching the video. Thanks for supporting the channel. Good wind and weather.